1982, the year of big hair, neon colors, and some of the most iconic music ever created.
But what were the best songs of the year? We've got the answers. Tune in as we each reveal our top 10 picks.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rock Resurgence Radio. My name is Chad, the host.
And I'm your co-host, Bergy.
Hey, today we're going to talk about the year 1982, as you heard in the beginning. And, you know, we have a lot of fun doing these because they're a little bit different. It's not just hair metal. It's some songs that we heard when we were pretty young and, you know, made an impression on us, or maybe we heard them out throughout the years, and kind of went back to them and liked them. But so it's a little fun. We were just kind of discussing that before we got on air. What say you?
Well, we started out with 1980 and we did 1981, and today we're on to 1982, and we talked about, you know, when we decided to do this, we decided to do songs instead of albums, and, you know, 10 each. I think the first episode we did where we had some duplicates, but 81 we decided we would do, so we had 10 fresh songs each. So if we had a duplicate on our list, we'd swap it out.
Right, because we had some honorable mentions that we could do that with. So.
Yeah, and we'll have some honorable mentions at the end. We decided, you know, do this from 80 to about 92, 93. I guess we'll just kind of see where it goes, but for sure, when we get into 84, 85, 86, you know, we're going to talk about the decade that rocked, the decade of decadence, the 80s.
Yep.
We're going to get into a lot of the hair metal in the middle part of the 80s, but in the early 80s, we got quite a eclectic mix of tunes, I think.
We do, yep, and it's not all hard rock or whatever, but it made an impression on us, or we liked the music at that time. So you're going to hear, you might hear some pop songs or kind of poppy songs or whatever, but it was what we were listening to when we were young probably, or what was popular at the time. So it was fun. 80s was the funnest time I can possibly imagine. I am so happy that I grew up in that time period that I grew up in.
Right.
Because it was a fucking blast. I don't remember a lot of it, but what I remember, it was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, just little things like, and you see these memes all the time and things on Facebook about, yeah, I drank out of the hose or whatever.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
In the day. We didn't have internet.
Meme,
we didn't, you know.
Yeah, there's a meme where you see all the bikes outside a person's
outside.
house. So you knew where all the kids were at. All their bikes are freaking thrown across the yard, and you didn't have to worry about them getting stolen. And it was just a fun freaking time. You know, we drank beer. We weren't big drug addicts. I'm sure there were some people that were doing the left-handed cigarettes, but
and worse too. But
yeah, and worse too. But you know, I mean, where I grew up in a small town USA like you and I did, I didn't see much of it. I saw a little weed now and then, but that's about it.
Yeah, it was fewer and farther between. There was no meth. There was no fentanyl.
Yep. You know. So it was a little more not as dangerous to do that.
For
stuff,
sure.
You know, so it was just, you know, and I wish, you know, those of you who didn't grow up then, I wish you could go back and just see and do it for, you know, a month. You would just have a blast because, you know, the weekends were for partying. You got together around a bonfire and you had a good time. That's what you did in small towns anyway. So what's he bringing out here?
If I could get in the DeLorean and go 88 miles per hour,
that
got this at
that is
Universal
great.
Studios back. Oh, sorry, now I'm away from the mic. But if I could get in the DeLorean and go 88 miles per hour and go back in the past
and have 1.21 gigawatts,
of
power,
I would do it.
I would do it.
I know I would do it for sure.
Absolutely, and I would make some investments while I'm there.
So speaking of shirts, can we see your shirt? I just want to point out Chad's cool shirt. Speaking of 80s and hair metal, Heaven's Edge kills grunge dead. We did an interview with the drummer from Heaven's Edge, and Chad bought that shirt. Didn't quite get here before we did the interview.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would get here in time, but that's okay. It's a cool ass shirt, man.
It's making its debut today.
Yep.
I love it.
Anyways, so I think you have it set up, so you go first.
I do, yeah.
So if you want to start us off, that would be great.
Yeah, so I'll continue a little bit on to what we were talking about is I had some self-imposed rules, and like we said in our last episode of Heir Apparent, we just make up our own fucking rules as we go along.
We kind of do. Yep.
So, and if you don't like the rules, well, we made them. We're going to break them if we feel like it. So,
exactly.
I did. My self-imposed rules were I tried to stay away from some covers and some live stuff, and I tried even a little bit to, if I picked the band in 80 or 81, and I know I'm going to have some repeats, especially the further we go into the 80s, but I tried to pick some different stuff that hadn't had yet, if that makes sense. But my number 10, and this is a band that I really like. I know Chad maybe didn't get into him right away, and I didn't get into him in 1982. I'm not even going to pretend that I did. But the band I picked was Hanoi Rocks, and they had an album in 1982, Oriental Beat. They were a little bit bigger, I think, overseas. You know, they're from Finland, or I'm pretty sure that's where. I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm not looking at Wiki or anything on this for now. It was hard to pick a song off of here, and I think there's some more popular songs. As a matter of fact, we were talking about this in our soundtrack roundtable. Came up again in our last Heir Apparent episode by me, but the Peacemaker on, I think it's on HBO Max or Max, I think it's called now, but Peacemaker is a DC Comics TV series with John Cena.
Yeah.
A couple of these songs, and one of them off this album was Fallen Star. That's not the song I picked, but that's also on this album. That was in one of the episodes of Peacemaker. And there was another song, 11th Street Kids. That's actually what they called themselves or something. That was another Hanoi Rock song. The song I picked is a song called Don't Follow Me. So we're going to listen to it real quick, and then we can talk about it.
Cool.
All right.
Don't think I've ever heard this one.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Okay.
She's always been the black sheep of her family. Now she's a stranger, always in danger, a black angel on the run. But I'll never get what I ever learned. She repeats the lines I've heard so many times before. It says, don't follow me, I'm lost too. Don't follow me, I'm lost too. Don't follow me, I'm lost too. Baby, I'm lost just like you. Yeah, I'm lost just like you.
That's about halfway through the song. I had to get to the chorus. I love the line, don't follow me, I'm lost too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way his little voice goes up at the end of a couple of those things. It made me smile every time.
Yeah, and Michael Monroe, if you don't know who he is, I mean, he had a self-titled album in the later 80s. Not Faking It. Dead Jail Rock and Roll.
I bought that based on the album cover.
Exactly. If you look at that album cover, you're like, that's a fucking rock star right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'd heard the name before because Motley Crue had Vince Neil got in a car wreck and killed the drummer.
Yep.
Drummer Razzle.
And I think that was about 1980.
It was early in their career, 83, 84. Yep, yeah, right in there. So I had heard the name Hanoi Rocks, and I knew that Motley Crue was friends with them because back in the day I used to research the shit out of bands that I really liked, and I really liked Motley Crue, so I kind of knew all about Hanoi Rocks via Motley Crue. So, but I never picked up their stuff. And like you said, I was not. They were not a big band for me, but I have listened to some as of late, as in the last couple of years, and I'm like, this is kind of cool stuff. It's it's a little different. I don't know if you call it rock, punk, what do you call it? But it's
definitely glam.
Yeah, there's something about it.
Punks to it, elements to it.
Yeah, there's something about it that's just catchy. So
I tell you how I got into them at all was kind of the same thing. Like you talked about them, kind of being friendly with Motley Crue.
Yep.
But I read about them in Metal Edge all the time, and usually it was in the vein of an Axl Rose interview or whatever from somebody, and him talking about, oh yeah, influences are blah blah blah, this and that, and Hanoi Rocks, and I'm like, and then in the back of these magazines, maybe Metal Edge or Circus, there was always a little advertisements where you could buy some of this stuff. Send off a self-addressed stamped envelope. Like there was no websites. You couldn't go to the website at hanoirocks.com and buy this. Anyway, in the back of the magazine, I ordered, no, I take that back. I didn't order these out of a magazine, but you could. I got these, I want to say at Budget. They had a box, kind of like, it wasn't a box set, but they had, there 4 albums that were reissued, and one of them was Oriental Beat, and I'll put them all up on the screen here when I edit this episode. But there was 4 of them, and they came out, and I think I mentioned this in another episode, on the Uzi Suicide label.
Oh.
They didn't initially come out on that. They were something else, of course, overseas, but that label reissued them in the States, and they were all released on the same day, the 4 of them, and then there was one other one, I think that was 2 Steps from the Move. But I picked all those up, and I just listened to the shit out of them for about a month straight.
Okay,
and at
Uzi
first,
Suicide being Guns N' Roses'
yes.
label that after they got popular and had some money, they created their own label, right? Yep.
So that's kind of how I discovered them, and I can remember sitting down and like I'm looking at right now on Apple Music and the lyrics to this song, and I was so geeky and nerdy about this. I'd sit down with a little notepad and I'd listen to the music and I'd try to write down the lyrics. So I just and some of his inflections and the way he speaks, because he's from Finland for one, and two, just the way he sounds. It's hard to say, to get what he's saying sometimes. So I listened to the songs over and over and over until I thought I had the lyrics down pat.
I remember writing lyrics down too.
Yeah, because I like to sing along.
Me too. And back in the 80s, you had to do that unless they had the lyrics on the inside of the cassette tape or whatever.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they did, but a lot of times they didn't.
And these ones didn't, unfortunately for me.
And I think back then we were playing in various little bands that never went anywhere. One was called Nasty Habits. That was a pretty cool name.
That is a fucking cool name.
I came up with that. Anyways, and
Motley Crue stole that from you then, because that's what they called their dancers. Do you remember that?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. But this is probably like back in '85.
Yeah, so Girls Tour, I think, is where it started. Maybe I'll Google this maybe and put it up, but that's what he called. They called the Motley Crue, and the Nasty Habits were the dancers.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the girls,
that's
the
funny.
dancing girl.
Yeah. Anyway, they came up with that, but
they owe you some money.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of money. Anyway, so, in the band, if you were going to play a song, you had to write the lyrics down. So I spent a lot of time doing that, writing out song lyrics and stuff, and when you're just learning them, you'd have a goddamn music stand there with like 50 sheets of paper on it, and they're all crinkled and rumpled and all kinds of beer spilled on them and this and that. But yeah, so so another kind of cool things about the 80s, didn't have this technology where you could just copy and paste and print out a Word doc and,
blow it up a little bit, put it on stage for you to see the
now they even have it where you can just put up a notepad like a iPad.
Yep.
And there's a thing that'll scroll the lyrics for you and everything and
Yeah.
show you as you're going along where you're supposed to sing, just like you're doing
You had
karaoke.
A handwritten set list or
karaoke.
lyrics. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think, well, I've talked enough about Hanoi Rocks and my number 10. I'll try to keep it a little more brief when I move on to my number 9. But Chad, what do you got at your number 10?
I was telling you before, I'm not a huge, I don't know that I bought any of these albums. I might have bought one or two Night Ranger albums, but I wasn't a huge Night Ranger fan. But the song I picked is Don't Tell Me You Love Me, because I really do like this song. It's a good freaking song. And I think the thing for me to do would probably buy a greatest hits of Night Ranger.
I was just going to say, what album is this on?
Shit, I don't even know.
Sorry
Released
to put you
December
on the spot.
82, label.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's okay. I couldn't tell you what.
Dawn Patrol. The album Dawn Patrol. Okay.
Okay.
But he's exactly right. If you go pick up their greatest hits, this is going to be on there.
Absolutely.
And so are all their best songs.
Yeah. So, and I knew their hits and stuff, but I never really got into them like I did Motley Crue or Poison or anything like that. These guys were, I don't know how to explain them. They're a rock band, but they weren't a hair band, so to speak. You know what I mean? And they were out kind of before.
Yeah, it's almost like,
bands.
so they fall in between like the Motley Crues, Poisons, and the hair band stuff. And we talked about these guys before, like the late 70s Journeys and Asias and
Slade and stuff like that.
Yep, so they're kind of in between there. But they have a lot of great musicians on there.
They do. They really, as a matter of fact, two of them went on to, wasn't it two of them that went into Damn Yankees?
Yeah, Tommy Shaw
and Jack Blades. So, and I really liked the Damn Yankees.
And they had a really cool Shaw Blades album, too, that they did
I
together.
remember that, but I don't think I ever heard it.
Yep.
But anyways, I'll just read a little bit about it. Singer Jack Blades was thinking about a hypothetical relationship that is fun and happy until one person confesses they love the other, at which point tension begins. He wrote the chorus first, followed by a few verses. He didn't think he had written enough lyrics, but his producer convinced him that he'd conveyed the message of the song sufficiently in those few words. So I guess I never really paid attention that maybe there isn't a whole lot of lyrics to this song, like verses or anything. So I guess we'll find that out together. But I read that and I was like, I guess I never really thought of that. I know he does repeat the chorus a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know that you've even said the name of this song yet, but
Yeah, don't tell me you love me.
okay.
Yeah,
Easy
I said
for
it
you to
better
say.
the first time.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Yep. Night Ranger, don't tell me you love me.
Should we hear it?
Yeah, let's take it out. Take a listen.
Okay.
It ain't the way you move. It ain't the way that you move me. Oh no. It ain't the way you shake. It ain't the way that you shake me. Oh no. I lived 25 years, I'm a kid on the run. I gotta pick up the ratchet. Don't tell me you love me. Don't tell me you love me. Don't tell me I don't wanna know. Don't tell me you love me. Don't tell me you love me. Don't tell me I don't wanna know.
Yeah, that's a catchy tune.
It
man.
is a really catchy tune, and later in the song, I might even pick it back up, but towards the latter parts when they get to that verse, I feel like they slow down a little bit.
They slow down and it like the music kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really catchy tune. And this makes me want to get, it's funny because I was playing some of these songs at home just on my phone, and Dawn was there before she was going to work. She's like, "Oh, it's kind of great listening to these old songs."
Yeah.
Because you don't listen to them every day.
Right.
So that's another fun part about doing these is that you're kind of listening to stuff that you normally wouldn't listen to on your day to day, and it brings back a lot of memories. Of the old days.
Yeah, good pick.
Thanks.
And I actually this was one that it would be in my honorable mentions, and I guess we'll talk about those at the end.
Yep.
I had it too, but I kind of thought maybe Chad would pick it, and I just maybe stretched a little bit more. Matter of fact, I was saying that at the beginning that I tried to, maybe I didn't say this yet, but I tried to keep them a little bit more towards the hard rock-ish edge, but my next one is really, really soft and wimpy.
Okay. Well, let's start talking about it. I'm done with
Okay.
Land Ranger. I moved on.
All right. Well, we'll move on. And like I said before, I'll try to keep it a little more on the brief side this time. But the song that I picked from 1982 is a song called Ebony and Ivory.
Oh, my goodness.
Right.
Oh, my God.
It's...
I always think of Saturday Night Live
Yes. Yeah, good call.
every time.
Yeah, so since we started this with 1980, I wasn't going to get any Beatles songs on here. And, of course, Paul McCartney was in the Beatles, and I like the Beatles, and I kind of wanted to have this song on here. I remember this song when it came out, and it's catchy. It's, I guess anti-racist, which is great, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then they bring in, so Paul McCartney, it's on his album, but featuring Stevie Wonder. It says from the album Tug of War. I didn't have this. I do remember hearing it on the radio. It came out in March of 1982.
Cool.
Lead single from the third solo album, Tug of War, like I said. Written by Paul McCartney, the song aligns the black and white keys of a piano keyboard with the theme of racial harmony. That's probably all that needs to be said about it.
Yep.
Let's just hear it.
Perfect.
All right. Like I said, very much so on the softer side of things. I probably haven't heard this since about 1980.
Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? We all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone. And we learn to live. We learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive. Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
I'll just leave it there, but I don't think I have heard that song since it was playing on the radio, probably.
I haven't heard it since that Saturday Night Live episode.
You're talking about Eddie Murphy. Was it Joe Piscopo in there too with him?
Yep. That was great.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get canceled. We
Oh,
got
God.
200, 200 little plus subscribers.
Yeah.
They're not going to kick us off YouTube for that.
No, but it is funny as shit.
It is good stuff.
You're blind as a bat, and I had sight.
Yeah, and he sounds like Frank
Oh,
Sinatra,
yeah.
and Eddie does a hell of. I mean, he's got a good voice. The
He
both
does,
of them
yeah.
actually
Well,
do, but
he's got his own album. A
Yeah.
couple of them, I think.
yeah, I don't think he's going to make any of our 1980s lists, but we'll see.
Party all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that's going to make my list.
I don't think so
Sorry,
either.
Eddie.
But we'll have you on here for that, for sure.
For sure.
All right. So moving along.
My number 9.
Yeah. What you got?
I got a little bad.
Oh.
Bad to the Bone by George Thorogood.
Very nice.
I don't know. This just, when this came out, it was just freaking cool.
Yeah, I can't believe it came out that long ago.
I know, right? So this is based on the Bo Diddley blues song, I Am a Man. Thorogood is influenced by the blues, and Diddley is one of his heroes. Thorogood version has much heavier guitar sound, which replaces the harmonica in Diddley's recording. Both songs are full of swagger, with the singers exuding lots of testosterone. The phrase bad to the bone means there isn't a bit of good in him. Other songs have been published with that title, but Thorogood popularized it and created a modern blues classic with the song. Some artists known to cover it include the Countdown Singers, Molly Hatchet, and Starlight Singers. Hip-hop artist Tech did a rap version of the song, which I meant to look up, but I'm going to at some point. Anyways, yeah, man, when this song come out, man, everybody was singing it, and you couldn't get away from it.
Bad.
Yeah, and it's just and it does have a really cool slide guitar in there, and I've never figured out how to play the slide on the guitar, but if I did, I'd play. This would be the first freaking song I'd play. So,
all right,
let's check it out.
Okay.
The drums kick in.
Now on the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up, said, "Leave this one alone." She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad, bad to the bone. I broke 1,000 hearts before I met you. I'll break 1,000 more, baby, before I am through. I wanna be yours, pretty baby. Yours and yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone.
Dude's got a lot of
bad to the bone.
He does. He's got a lot of great
Bad. Bad to the bone.
Yeah, catchy stuff, man.
I know. I just, and I didn't even have to look over at the lyrics because I knew them all.
Yeah.
Because, that was just such a huge song back in the day that everybody was singing it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And you talked about that was it Bo Diddley?
Bo Diddley?
I'm a Man, or
Yep.
yeah, I can hear that in there. And I think I can't remember what movie it is. I think it's Better Off Dead when he gets his car going in the movie, the Camaro. I think it's a Camaro.
I don't know
like
if
a
I know that movie.
Anyway, the black one. And he finally he gets it going, and that's the song that comes on. I'm a man, way past 21.
Okay.
Yeah,
If I heard the
that
song
before for sure.
I know I have, but I can't picture it in my head right now.
Sean, wanna beat him?
Beat him?
Yes!
I can't beat him. I can't.
I think all you need is a small taste of success, and you will find it suits you.
Now, when I was a young boy, at the age of 5, my mother said I was gonna be the greatest man alive. But now I'm a man, way past 21. I want you to believe me, baby. I have lots of fun.
And if you haven't seen that movie, check it out. Speaking of 80s, that probably came out in 84, 85. But one of my all-time.
What was it called?
Better Off Dead, John Cusack.
Oh, I love John Cusack.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is my number 9. On to your number 8, Mr. Berglof.
Okay. My number 8 is, this was the one we did both have on our lists, and I asked Chad to politely change him one of his, and actually I think he had it at number 8 as well. The song is Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, and actually I remember, and I think this might have been a greatest hits cassette that I had of Survivor, I think it was called Vital Signs. This song was made famous for sure from the movie Rocky 3, right?
Yep, Rocky 3.
So, and it was actually written as the theme song for that movie, and it was their third album, and the album's name was Eye of the Tiger. But I do think it was, well, obviously, if they have a greatest hits CD or cassette, it was on there, and that's probably where I had it. They're another one of those that I wasn't really into, but if I was going to pick up an album from them, I would probably just pick up the greatest hits.
Yep, me too. I never really got into Survivor. I don't know. I mean, I like this song, but I probably couldn't tell you another Survivor song if you held a gun to my head.
I don't think I could either with a gun to my head.
No.
But if I saw him, I probably would know him while we're listening to it. Maybe I'm going to look that up because I'm pretty sure, and I don't know why I just all of a sudden remembered it now and didn't have any notes on it, but I'm pretty sure the name of the album was Vital Signs, and
I'm pretty sure it was too.
For some reason. Anyway, let's hear the song, and
absolutely.
I'll not gun to my head, but I'll name another Survivor song before it's over. But with the use of the internet, which we didn't have back in 1982.
Right.
So, Eye of the Tiger. Here we go.
Classic.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Adrian.
Yeah, I can just see Rocky.
Yep, running on the steps. Yep. This is Mr. T. Rocky.
Yep.
Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang, yep.
And I think Hulk Hogan was in this one too. He was for sure.
Rising up back on the street. Did my time, took my chances.
Yeah, so
We should look up
With
that.
the distance, now I'm back on my feet.
yeah,
Just
well, you
a
can
man
talk about
and his will to
it.
survive.
So I just looked up Vital Signs,
So
not to
many
butt in on
times
the music,
it happens
but it wasn't. It was
fast.
their 5th studio
You
album. It
trade
wasn't
your
the greatest
passion
hits
for
album.
glory.
High on You.
Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past.
The
You
search
must
is over.
fight just to
Oh, yeah.
keep
Now we
them
know.
alive.
But
Let's
never.
live. Eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And his watching us always the eye of the tiger.
All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. You got some interesting things you said.
Yeah, because this was on my list, and I found this website called Song Facts that kind of it doesn't have all the songs on there, but it has some, and this one is on there. I'm going to read some of this. This is pretty good. This was the theme song to Rocky 3, which is the biggest movie of 1982. Tony Scotti was the president of Survivor's record label, and he played Sylvester Stallone some tracks from the previous Survivor album, Premonition. Stallone thought the sound, writing style, and street appeal could fit in his new movie. So he called Jim Peterick and Frankie Sullivan, who were Survivor's primary songwriters, and left messages on their answering machines. When he spoke to Peterick, he said, "Answering machines are still something of a novelty back then, and to see that blinking light was a thrill. When I pressed the playback button, I heard, 'Hey, yo, Jim, that's a nice message you got there. This is Sylvester Stallone.'" It was too thick and to be really him, but it was him. That's really the one way he talks. anyways, it's this Jim Peterick told us regarding the origin of the song. When we got the initial rough cut of the movie, the scene of the Eye of the Tiger appears was cut to another one, Bites the Dust by Queen.
Wow.
Frank and I were watching this. The punches were being thrown, and we're going, "Holy crap! This is working like a charm." We called Stallone and said, "Why aren't you using that?" He goes, "Well, can't get the publishing rights to it." So Frank and I looked at each other and went, "Man, this is going to be tough to beat." We had the spirit of we got to give this a try to top this. I started doing the now famous dead string guitar riff and started smashing those chords to the punches we saw on the screen, and the whole song took shape in the next 3 days. And it went on to say that I think this guy was writing. This guy is also this writer who writes the Survivor songs. Also wrote a song that's on my list. He wrote for both bands.
Okay.
And
put it in the back of your mind and bring it up when you're...
Yeah. So, and he goes, it was really tough because the Survivor guys would get mad when this other band would get a hit with something that he wrote.
Okay. So he wasn't in the band. He was a writer.
So, yeah. And he basically said, this wasn't a Survivor song. This song that will come up later.
Okay.
He goes, so I, it was different parts of my brain when I was writing for these two bands, but it created some tension. So he had to kind of start sneaking around writing songs for this other band.
Well, stay tuned.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
All right. So since I kind of kicked you off of that song and made you pick a different one, you took one off of your honorable mention and moved it up here.
I did, and that's a little known song called Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. And, Steve Miller's another one of those guys that I think the only one I bought was that Greatest Hits that everybody knows with the cover I'm talking about. I can't think of what's on it right now, but, and I'll just read you a little bit. Written entirely by Steve Miller, this catchy pop song with mild sexual innuendos contains lyrics of the simplistic June Moon Spoon variety. I see the magic in your eyes. I hear the magic in your sighs. Just when you think I'm gonna get away, I hear those words that you always say. Yes, the man who once spoke of Pompatus of love.
Yeah.
Was now rhyming abracadabra with reach out and grab you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's certainly not the song that got Miller into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2016, but Abracadabra was a huge hit, spending 2 weeks at #1 in the U.S. in September of 1982.
Yeah, The Joker and Rockin' Me. And,
yep.
But for sure, that is...
Take the Money and Run.
Yeah, that's the album you get. You just get the greatest hits.
Greatest hits of Steve Miller. It's so good.
And a lot of these are bands that were around in the early 80s or late 70s or even maybe farther back that just weren't there when we were forming our musical tastes. I mean, They weren't new. They'd been around.
Yeah, the older guys, like we were both class of 89, like the guys that were in 85, 86.
Right, like I talked about the guy with the April Wine T-shirt in the 81 episode.
They knew these guys, Steve Miller, quite well.
The Eagles fit into that category too.
Yep, and they you'd hear that, but it wasn't. Yeah, when we were listening, it was Motley Crue and stuff like that. But I went back, and found these guys because the older ones had suggested it to me, and I'm thinking, at the time I didn't think, but after hearing it so many times, like in bars and stuff like that, you hear all these songs and you go, oh, that's that Steve Miller guy? Well, then you buy the greatest hits and you're like, holy shit, I know all these songs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
every one of them.
Yep, and they're all good. So anyways, let's give it a quick listen.
Let's do that. I just wanted to bring one up. I was just about to say, and I always thought this, but I know it was in the movie Reservoir Dogs. There's a song by the band Steelers Wheel that sounds like it's Stuck in the Middle with You is the name of the song.
Oh, yeah. I was
But
like,
I
I know they
always
have a
thought
big
that
song.
was a Steve Miller Band song.
Oh.
Forever, because it has that same kind of sound to it.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm glad we got this one in the list, but let's hear it.
I heat up, I can't cool down. Got me spinning round and round, round and round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Every time you call my name, I heat up like a burning flame, full of desire. Kiss me, baby, let the fire get higher. I wanna reach out and grab you. Abracadabra. You make me hot, you make me sigh. You make me laugh, you make me cry. Keep me burning for your love with the touch of a velvet glove. I wanna reach out and grab you.
Yeah, that is so good. And then like it gets better with the lyrics too. I kind of just wanted to let it play the whole damn song. Just like I feel the magic in your caress. I feel the magic when I touch your dress. Silken satin, leather, and lace, black panties with an angel's face.
Yeah.
And then when there's this part where he says, "Kiss me, baby,"
Yep.
that we didn't get to, but it's later in the song.
Yep.
It kind of reminds me of like Jerry Lee Lewis or something. But,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss me, baby.
Or the Big
Balls of
Bopper
Fire.
or whatever,
Yep,
you know,
yep.
that kind of older stuff. But
Yep. Yep.
cool tune. Glad it made our list.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad too.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that song in a long time, and I knew all the damn words again.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yep.
Fits right in.
Okay. What are we up to?
You know, I know it's my turn. I don't remember what number I'm on, but I will
You
tell
should be
you.
on 7.
Gosh, this might be a long episode.
Yeah.
I should probably keep it a little more brief. But anyway, my 7 comes from an album that has a lot of good songs on it, as a matter of fact. There might be a couple that make this list. I only have this one, and it was hard for me to pick, but I knew I wanted to pick a song off of this album.
Oh, yep. Of course.
But the album is American Fool, and it's John Cougar, not John Cougar Mellencamp or John Mellencamp, but back when he was just good old Johnny Cougar.
Yep.
I can say some things about John Cougar or John Cougar Mellencamp. He was married, and maybe he still is, I don't know. But he was married to Meg Ryan, who I thought was one of the
Oh, my
most
God.
attractive women of that time period.
Yeah. So sexy.
And I saw him at the state fair not too long ago, and he was pretty good. I really, and not to get into politics too much, but I don't like his politics, but who cares? That's not what this is about. It's about music. And the song I picked was Jack and Diane.
Classic song. And let me just say, this album was there's not a bad song on this album.
No.
I am telling you, if you don't have this in your library, you should get it because it is so good. Unbelievable. I mean, there's really no stinkers at all on this. I remember way back when I got it, and this is one of the ones I got really early, and I was up at a fair, a little tiny fair when I don't know if they even still have them in Belcourt, North Dakota. And there was this one ride, I don't remember what it was even, but he was cranking the shit out of this album. So I just sat there and rode that ride.
Yeah.
Rode it because I like this album so much. And I knew all the songs, and I was just like, this is so good. And this guy's playing it, and I rode that ride, I bet you 5-6 times in a row.
Yeah, and I think he's a really good songwriter.
Oh my God, he's good.
I think I kind of hate him because I feel like he knows that he's good. And I think he's a cocky type guy.
I think he is too.
I've never met the man in person.
No, I think, yeah, I mean,
I just think he's a dick. I just have a feeling that he's a dick.
he might be. I don't know. I've never met him, but
I hope he's watching our episode.
Yeah, but don't take
to
that. We still want to interview you.
Yeah.
But I saw him. I bought tickets for him when he played in Fargo for my wife's birthday one year. And she had never seen him. I had never seen him. So it was really good. It was a really good concert. We were kind of far away because I didn't get him right away, but it was so freaking good. I mean, like, you wouldn't believe the amount of songs this guy has written over the years that are good. I mean, he probably had 10 more in the bag. I mean, he probably played 14, 15 songs that night, and I'll bet you he had that many more that he could have played. Yeah. Because he has so many hits. And if you start looking into it, you would realize that. And it's just, if you could go out there and just, if he had a greatest hits that had all his hits, it'd have to be a double or triple CD.
He does. There's a 2 CD album called Music and Words by John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Pick that up. That'll have most of the greatest hits. But
yeah,
this one, American Fool, and then the next one, Aha, with Pink Houses. And
yep.
If you have those 2 albums and maybe that Words and Music, you're pretty well set.
Yeah. See, because I know he wouldn't have all the songs that I like off this album because I like every single one of them.
Yeah. There's quite a few of them. But.
Yeah. So, but anyways, the 2 big ones are, Jack and Diane and Hurts So Good. Everybody knows those songs. Yep. So, anyways, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in because I really, really love that album.
Well, shall we suck on some chili dogs and listen to that song a little bit?
Hell yeah, we should. Go back to Tasty Freeze.
Yeah. All right. Let's have a little listen to it. It's a storyteller type song. I do have an interesting tidbit that I didn't know about it till just now, but I'll share it when we're done.
Cool.
Little ditty about Jack and Diane, 2 American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie gonna be a football star, Diane's debutante backseat of Jackie's car. Sucking on a chili dog outside Taste Freeze. Diane sat on Jackie's lap and got his hands between her knees. Jackie say, hey Diane, let's run off behind the shady trees. Dribble off those Bobby Brooks, let me do what I please. Say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on.
I gotta let it get to the Let It Rock part. And it sounds so good in these headphones. Probably gonna let this one play too long, I'm sorry, but
Jackie sits back, flexes thoughts for the moment, scratches his head and does his best James Dean. Well, then there and Diane got her off to the city. Diane says, baby, you ain't missing nothing. And Jackie say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Oh yeah, I say life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. So let it rock, let it roll,
Literally, there's like a minute and 19 seconds left of the song. But
God, so good.
yeah, just all the
What
lyrics.
does he say there? Go back up close to the bobby pins or something.
Oh, Bobby Brooks slacks.
Yeah, why? What
That's
the hell does he say?
A brand of dribble off those Bobby Brooks slacks, and the lyrics say, and do what I please, but I think it's dribble off those Bobby Brooks slacks, let me do what I please.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he's
could
asking.
never
He's asking for some
understand.
fun, basically.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah,
get
I
those
know.
slacks off of you, and
Yep. Yeah, we're back behind the trees now. So.
yeah, little ditty.
Oh yeah, that's a good album right there.
Yeah, the best that I can do. I think that's probably another set of greatest hits
Yep.
tunes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and the lyrics great all the way through, but just that, let the Bible belt come and save my soul.
Yeah.
Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Those lyrics hit harder at 53 than they did back in 1982 when I was 11, of course, because
Yeah. Absolutely.
I wasn't thinking about holding on to 16. I was thinking about getting to 16.
Yep.
But
Yep. No.
good
it's-
stuff. This
yeah.
is another one of those that I told the story before about my buddy Danny, and he had this. He got me into this. I think he had this in his collection.
I don't remember how I got into it, but I'm glad I did because it was so freaking good.
Yeah. And of course, he did become very popular. But when this album came out, he wasn't that popular.
No, he wasn't.
Of course, this made him that. But anyway, real quick.
Tidbit.
Yeah, little tidbit. Damn it, I just had it up and then I closed it. So, according to John Mellencamp, Jack and Diane was based on the 1962 Tennessee Williams film Sweet Bird of Youth. He said of recording the song, Jack and Diane was a terrible record to make. When I play it on guitar by myself, it sounds great, but I could never get the band to play along with me. That's why the arrangement's so weird, stopping and starting. It's not very musical. Mellencamp has also stated that the clapping was used only to keep time and was supposed to be removed in the final mix. However, he left the clapping in once he realized the song would not work without it. In 2014, Mellencamp revealed that the song, here's the tidbit, I didn't know, was originally about an interracial couple where Jack was African American and not a football star, but the record company persuaded him to change it. Interesting that little tidbit, and we were just talking about Ebony and Ivory.
Oh yeah.
So,
Crazy.
yep, anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that song, and we can move on.
Cool. We can move on, but that is a fantastic album.
What do you got at? We're on to your number 7.
My number 7 is a song called Rock and Roll Party in the Streets by a band called Axe. And they're not very big. They're not very popular, but this song is really super catchy. And I hope you dig it because I really dig it. I'll see if there's anything. It was an American hard rock band from Gainesville, Florida, formed in 1979 and disbanded in 2012. The band is best known for their 1982 song Rock and Roll Party in the Streets and other hits such as Now or Never, I Think You'll Remember Tonight, and Heat in the Street. So they didn't have a bunch of big songs because I don't even think I could hum those other ones, but this song, once you hear it, you'll go, oh, I've heard that before. And it's just catchy and it's a fun song.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't remember it, but we'll see if
I think
do.
I think once you hear it, you'll go, okay, I know this song.
Okay.
So let's give it a listen.
All right.
I know this ain't
Yeah. I'm seriously, I'm listening to it and I'm like, I don't know this song. Don't know.
You get to the chorus and then
know
it just kicks in.
Knock down, drag out.
Rock and roll party in the streets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Really good tune. Yeah. So that's it for that. Now we're moving on to number 6. What do you got, Chris?
At my number 6, I got the Scorpions, No One Like You from the album Blackout. I'm not a super huge Scorpions fan, and I think we've mentioned that before.
I'm not either.
But we did have one of their songs in our, I think, 1980.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a lot of good songs. Yeah, and when I hear them on the radio, I'm like, yeah, that's a good song. But I never really went out and bought their stuff, other than Love It First Sting, which I think we talked about before too, which is the one with Rock You Like a Hurricane. So yeah,
and they have a song on, I think I mentioned this before too, but it's the Moscow Peace Festival. The guys, they put out a Make a Difference Foundation.
Yeah, Winds of Change. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was around that same time frame. Sorry, cut. It was around that same time frame, but it was most of them I think were like remakes, or like they did like a jam with Motley Crue and covers. But I don't think this is a cover, but it was a song called Tease Me, Please Me.
Nope, that's their song.
Right. It was on that. I'm pretty sure it was on that album.
On Love It First
Oh,
Sting?
no.
It was on a different album.
Yeah. No, the God damn it. What the hell is the name of that song? I'm going to look it up. We're going to listen to No One Like You.
Okay.
I've talked too much about it already. We're going to make this episode 3 hours long before it's over. This, like I said, Blackout 1982, one of 3 hit singles from that record. It's also on Best of Rockers and Ballads. This is another one of those where I think you could just pick up their greatest hits.
And you'd be really good. Yep.
Yeah, Tease Me, Please Me. Nope, you're right. It's not on the album I was thinking of. I'm going to think of that song, and maybe, I won't play a clip from it, but check it out if you haven't heard it. But anyway, No One Like You.
He's got an amazing voice.
I think he's retiring, I heard.
Probably 70.
Yeah,
They've been around for a long time.
It's been a long time that we've been apart. Much too long for a man who needs life. I miss you since I've been away. Babe, wasn't easy to leave you alone. It's getting harder now that I'm gone. And I have a choice of staying. There's no one like you. I can't wait for the nights with you. I imagine the things we do. I just wanna be loved by you.
Probably find out this guy for about $30.
For the nights with you. I imagine the
Okay, I'm going to leave the Scorpions right there.
I just wanna be
I blabbered on about this album, this Make a Difference Foundation album, so I just got a quick touch on it, but it was called Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell. It was the guys that were at this Moscow Peace Festival: Bon Jovi, Skid Row, Scorpions, Ozzy, Motley Crue, Cinderella, Gorky Park, which was that Russian band that had I think they had
They had a song
They had a really,
too, but I can't remember
popular
what it was
song.
called.
might have even been called,
Gorky Park.
yeah, maybe.
I know.
I know that was a lyric in the song. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, down to Gorky. No, that's
no, that's the Scorpions
Scorpions.
song. Yeah,
Down
that's right. That's the Winds of Change song, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So stupid me, I said tease me, please me, but you know what it was is I was thinking of the song that Motley Crue did on there. That was a
Teaser.
Tommy Bolin song, Teaser, which is a cool song too. But the song that the Scorpions did on it was a Who song called I Can't Explain. And it's one of my favorite songs by the Scorpions. And actually, of course, it's
Can't explain it either. I bet.
it's The Who. But yeah, this album's probably out of print for all I know. If you can find it though, I'll put the cover up on here and Google it. Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell. But Gorky Park, My Generation, Skid Row did Holidays in the Sun, Sex Pistols, the Scorpions song I just talked about, Purple Haze, Ozzy Osbourne did that. The Motley Crue teaser, The Boys Are Back in Town, Bon Jovi covered from Thin Lizzy. Cinderella did Move Over, a Janis Joplin song. Then there was the Led Zeppelin drum solo, Moby Dick or whatever, John Bonham. I think it was, yeah, it's just like a little, whatever. Hound Dog. Oh, and then they all kind of joined in on the last few songs, like Hound Dog, Long Tall Sally, Blue Suede Shoes, and Rock and Roll. So they all were, it was like all these guys. And I actually watched this on, I think like it was on pay-per-view or something, or maybe it was free.
Yeah.
But it was cool because they did a really good job.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I remember having that album too.
Yeah. I yapped about it.
Yeah.
And here we were just supposed to be talking about my pick, the Scorpions, No One Like You, from the album Blackout. That was my number 6.
Okay. My number 6 is, now this isn't going to fit into our blah, blah, blah hair band stuff. The song I am going to talk about is called Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran. And I can remember this video like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Out on that big yacht and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll just read a little bit about it. This was the band's breakthrough hit in the U.S. Its success originated from MTV, which had only come on the air, showing their video of the band in the Sri Lanka jungle. They also shot the clips for Lonely in Your Nightmare and Save a Prayer on this trip. It was an early sensation, particularly in the Deep South where the channel was being trialed. And in a pre-MTV world where Duran could be heard but not seen, it is unlikely they would have broken through in America. They were asking the magazine Q magazine in 2008 for their memoirs of the video. Drummer Roger Taylor recalled, "We'd go to Alabama or Texas and the girls would be screaming and the guys would be clenching their fists with cowboy hats clenching their fists. I don't suppose they'd seen too many guys in makeup pouting before." Singer Simon Le Bon added, "It worked for us though. Video made it possible to create a cult of personality across the globe. You arrive on a tour bus and they'd already seen us on the yacht in the video."
Right.
So
back in the day, this is one of the bands that, as a dude, I would have hated these guys.
yeah,
Like, and the girlies and the chicks, and they were all over the Tiger Beats and the Teeny Bopper girly magazines.
yep,
Like,
they all
the
loved
girls
them and
swooned
screamed
over
and,
them.
Yep.
They were like, like you see the old videos of the Beatles, and the girls are yelling and screaming and fainting practically over
Yep.
them. That's kind of how these guys were. And
Yeah,
they were
'cause
English too.
Yep, because I really like the song. It's a catchy song.
I do too.
But yeah, it was. I never bought it.
Me neither.
Bought the album, but you heard it. It was huge back in the day because of MTV. So it was on the radio all the time. So yeah, we'll check it out here.
Right, it's on a lot of my like 80s compilation
Yep.
things that
Yep.
I have, albums or like, now that's what I call 80s or whatever.
Yep,
It's
yep.
going to be on there. Yeah, it's
So-
a good tune.
Yep.
Should you hear it?
Yep. Let's do it.
Dark in the city, night is a wire. Steam in the subway, earth is a fire. When you want me, give me a sign. And catch me breathing even closer behind.
sure most of you have heard that song.
Yeah.
If not, it's cool
Yeah.
80s song to check out. I mean, it totally screams the 80s
Yeah,
when you
for
listen
no
to
doubt. Like,
it. Yeah.
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 And they got some other goodies too.
You know what
and-
else came out this year that I didn't pick?
What?
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine.
Yeah.
You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, I'm not digging Tony Basil.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't digging Duran back then, but it's funny because, you know, when you get to be like, say, I'm 53. When you get maybe even in my 30s, I was like, you know, nostalgic for the 80s.
Yep.
And
100%. Me too.
you know, there's some songs that, you know, we've had them already on like Soft Cell, Tainted Love on our 81 episode or whatever.
Jenny, I need your number.
Yeah, some of those songs were like, back then.
I
they were-
probably cursed at people that listened to that.
yeah,
Like I remember my buddy Tim Belgard, he was kind of into new wave and stuff like that. He liked Duran and Bananarama and what's the guy with the big flock of seagulls and shit like
Yeah.
that. And I kind of made fun of him,
Oh, God.
for it. And now here I'm talking about this stuff. Now it's kind of funny.
yeah, it makes me very nostalgic, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it.
And I was a piece of shit for making fun of him because he actually likes some good shit. Like he liked Devo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, fuck, I love Whip It.
Well,
it's
if
great.
if he actually had the Flock of Seagulls haircut, he deserved everything he got.
He didn't have that.
I don't think many people did. But
No, he didn't have that. But
there were some weird haircuts and hairdos back in the day, though, for
for
sure.
sure.
And there was some big, cool hair, too, that I miss it.
Yep. All right, moving on. You're number 5.
My number 5. Well, I'm going to try. I said it last time. I was trying to keep it brief. I'm really going to do it.
We don't do that well.
No. Mine is, and this, I didn't get into this in 1982 either.
Me either.
And this song came on a later, actually it was on I think 3 different cassettes. The greatest hits type one that was, so my song is White Wedding, Billy Idol. This was released in 1982, but then it was re-released again in 1983 but this is Billy Idol's first like solo album.
Okay.
He
It was on Rebel Yell, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I kind of had these notes, and here I'm not using them. I'm just yapping. And because I said I was going to kind of keep it brief. But, yeah, single from the self-titled studio album in 1982. U.S. peaked at number 10 on the Billboard, bubbling under the Hot 100 chart on November 27th of 82. Then reached number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100 on the 2nd of July after it was reissued. And it was reissued in 1985 to promote the Vital Idol remix album, and that's the one that I remember having.
Yep.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if we look at the track listing for Vital Idol, it tells what original album it came on, and White Wedding does show that it came on the Billy Idol.
Yeah, it's not on there.
Yeah. But anyway,
Boy, I would have swore it was on there.
yeah, I remember that cover, that Vital Idol, like that.
Yeah.
That was what if you don't have a Billy Idol album, that's a good one to
Yep,
get.
Vital Idol. It's very good.
No doubt about it. Anyway, in the interest of keeping it brief, let's listen to it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I like that too.
Just a smidge.
Turn my shit down, turn yours up.
Well, yours was loud.
Just give me shit.
I don't know why that one song, 3 or 4 songs ago, that rock and roll party, was just a little extra loud for a second. And then I forgot to turn it back on.
Hey, little sister, what have you done? Hey, little sister, who's the only one? Hey, little sister, who's your Superman? Hey, little sister, who's the one you want? Hey, little sister, shotgun. It's a nice day to start again. It's a nice day for a white wedding. It's a nice day to start again. Hey, little
Yeah.
sister,
I'm
what
going to
have you
skip over
done?
to the, just skip around.
Hey, little sister, who's the only one? It's a nice day to
But anyway, that's my song.
That's a great song. I love that song. I like Billy Idol.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, he's got a lot of filler,
Yeah.
but he's got some really good freaking hits, and Vital Idol is a good album.
Oddly,
So-
just scrolling through social media just yesterday or day before, I came across him. And I don't remember which song it was, but it was him and Miley Cyrus, of all people, singing a song together. And it was one of his songs.
Yeah, she's kind of a rocker.
Yeah. What the hell song was it? Maybe Dancing with Myself.
Yeah.
Anyway,
maybe.
it was really good.
Cool.
But anyway, we'll move on to yours.
My number 5 is a very awesome song. Cool beginning. The name of it is Fantasy, and it's by Aldo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. He's another guy that I didn't get into a whole bunch, but the older guys knew this song and introduced me to it. And I was like, holy shit, that's cool, man. That beginning, just the way that helicopter and just the build up, and then all of a sudden it just kicks into guitars, and it's really awesome. Anyways, Fantasy is the debut single by Canadian rock musician Aldo. I wonder if that's actually his name.
That is such a weird name.
Yeah. It's
Like, do you know any other dudes or anybody named
Aldo?
Aldo?
No, I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be.
It was released in '82 from his self-titled debut. VH1 listed the song at number 78 on his countdown for the 78 greatest one-hit wonders of the '80s. It is his most popular work to date. The song is considered one of the earliest examples of the hair metal or glam metal genre
That's funny.
of rock music, which would rise to high popularity by the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
So they're considering it really early
Roots of hair metal, which, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I guess I didn't know that. I didn't know it was categorized that
Yeah.
way. But yeah.
so Aldo was actually his first name, but
It
his
is?
real last name was Caparuccio.
Caparuccio.
Yeah, but yeah,
okay.
I'm glad he went with Nova at least on it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a lot easier to pronounce.
For sure.
Anyways, let's give it a listen. This has a long intro, but it's well worth it because
All
it
right.
just builds up to a freaking crescendo and just
Was kind of a one-hit wonder, but I think I can remember one other song too. But anyway,
Well, he
mention
had an album that was called Blood on the Bricks that was pretty decent.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Jade got it. I never bought it, but I listened to it a few times. It was good. Anyways,
I think
here's the beginning.
"Fooling Yourself" is that the song? Maybe I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
I think it is. Off that same album.
I say helicopters. It sounds, it's not really a helicopter.
Yeah, definitely sounds like helicopter. Comes the beat. I can see it.
I can too. I just never thought of it. And plus, it's got a little bit of keyboards in there.
Yeah, it's a little more futuristic than straightforward rock.
Exactly.
But in between, it's very straightforward rock.
City nights, summer breeze make you feel alright. Neon lights, shining bright, they make a rainy night. See the girls with the dresses so tight. Give you love if the price is right. Black or white, in the streets there's no woman, no right, no.
realize all the lyrics to this song.
I didn't either. I was kind of reading them as you were
there's
scrolling down.
some cocaine stuff.
Yeah. We'll read that line. Where is that at? I didn't realize that was a
Feels all right. Powder pleasure in your nose tonight.
Yeah.
See the men paint their faces and cry. Like some girls. It makes you wonder why. I mean, yeah, they're a little ahead of the
Head of the game.
boys
Yeah,
dressing up like girls. You know, we joke about the Poison cover with.
Yep. With the guys that look like girls.
You were beating off to it for.
Yeah, for a couple of months.
Yeah, whatever.
Before I realized.
Yeah. Just a joke.
Had to bring that up. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's get on to your number 4. How about
Shit. Just move on.
move on? That was Fantasy by Aldo.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah.
1982. It seems like a million years ago. In reality, it was 42 years ago. Holy shit.
It's a long ass time.
Almost 43 coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So my next song is Rosanna by Toto. And
I had this. I was looking at this one too.
I had to have one of the songs off of this album. Now I'm going to give away. You guys are all going to be able to hack into my system. But the first band I ever saw, so this would be one of my like security questions.
Oh, yeah.
First concert you attended was Toto.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't 82, but it was probably like 84 or 5 or 6. I was young.
Where'd you see those guys?
At the State Fair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I mean, you can probably find it somewhere online what
Yeah.
year they played, but it was
I'll check it when we're listening.
yeah, and it, actually might have been even 87. But I really like this song, and the fact that it's Rosanna Arquette, that's actually who the song is about.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, one of the guys dated her or whatever. That was in Toto. And she was a muse for some other songs too, I think. But anyway, she dated some rock stars. But I love the song. There was a couple other ones. Africa is on this album, I think. But let's hear Rosanna.
All I wanna do when I wake up in the morning is see your eyes. Rosanna, Rosanna. Never thought that a girl like you could ever care for me.
This is really info.
Rosanna. All I wanna do in the middle of the evening is hold you tight. Rosanna, Rosanna. I didn't know you were looking for more than I could ever be. Not quite a year since she went away. Rosanna, yeah. Now she's gone, and I have to say.
Things on these headphones.
Meet you all the way. Meet you all the way. Rosanna, yeah. Meet you all the way. Meet you.
I better just leave it there. I'll just read a little quick note about it, and then we'll move on to yours. But
Sounds good.
Song-
Yeah, I couldn't find anything when they played the State Fair. I just did. AI says there isn't much info about Toto playing at the North Dakota State Fair,
There
but here's some
probably-
related information.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
there's
related
probably
to
not. You know how? So I did you go to the State Fair every year or not?
that.
Really?
Not every year, but
Have you ever been in the State Fair Center? It used to be the All Seasons Arena, but it's
Yep.
kind of a newer building now.
Yep.
And up on the top level, they have all the posters from, I don't know if it's the history of the State Fair, but it goes back to the early 80s.
oh,
And
okay.
so you can go through and see who was all on the bill for the year.
Oh,
for
that's
that year.
cool.
And so I remember walking through there, and I know it was later than I thought because this coming out in '82. I didn't go in '82. I would have been 11.
And they probably wouldn't have got him first year.
Yeah, and I think I went and met a girl there, so I probably was at least 15 or 16, which would have made it like 86, 87.
Yeah.
It might even been 88, which is almost kind of embarrassing that I was still listening to Toto in 1988. But there wasn't a lot to choose from to go
You're
to
listening
concerts.
to it today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't be embarrassed. I love that song.
Yeah.
Song written by David Paich, Paich, and performed by the American rock band Toto. Opening track and first single from their 82 album Toto 4. Song won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1983.
No shit.
Yeah. Regarded for the halftime shuffle, which drummer Jeff Porcaro developed for the song, and for its production, which is generally seen as being one of the best mastered songs of all time. I was hearing some cool stuff on his headphones.
I was too. I was like,
some
man.
background noises that I didn't notice before.
Yeah, and I was thinking that too when it was playing. I'm like, man, that sounds good. Holy smokes.
The groove has become an important staple of drum repertoire and is commonly known as the Rosanna Shuffle. The song reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 5 consecutive weeks behind Don't You Want Me by the Human League and Eye of the Tiger by Survivor.
Crazy.
Yep. And I know that, so as a joke, the band members initially played along with the common assumption that the song was based on Rosanna Arquette, who was dating Toto keyboard player Steve Porcaro at the time. Arquette herself played along with the joke, commenting in an interview that the song was about my showing up at 4 a.m., bringing them juice and beer at their sessions. But apparently, the guy who wrote it says the song is based on numerous girls he had known. So,
Slut.
yeah, whatever. That song's about Rosanna Arquette, always going to be in my book. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
let's move on.
My number 4 is a really, really good one. My wife would agree. She likes these guys a lot. And the band is 38 Special. And the song is Caught Up in You. And I have a little bit of info on this one.
The Wild-Eyed Southern Boys?
Yeah. Group members Jeff Carlisi and Don Barnes wrote the song with Jim Peterick. Remember that name from earlier?
I do remember Jim Peterick.
Who was a member of the band Survivor. 38 Special's first hit was Hold On Loosely, which Peterick wrote for Survivor. The bands were on the same label, and when the song didn't make Survivor's album, it went to 38 Special. This led to a collaboration between Carlisi, Barnes, and Peterick, who wrote most of the hits for 38 Special.
Wow.
And like I was saying, if you read on further, it kind of created some turmoil.
Yeah.
Because this song became a hit. And, the Survivor guys are going, oh, why didn't you write that for us?
I think they're two super different bands.
Yeah, and he said when he writes the songs for 38 Special, he's in a different frame of mind, and the songs are written differently than he would for Survivor.
Well, it sounds like you said he wrote that Hold On Loosely for Survivor, and it didn't make their album.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It was a big hit.
It was a huge hit.
For
probably their
38
biggest
Special.
hit.
Yeah. So,
the guys in Survivor sound like a couple fucking idiots, if you ask me. But anyways, they don't know a good song when it hits them right in the ass.
No.
Well, let's take a listen to Caught Up in You. And
yeah, good tune. Can't wait to hear it.
such a good song.
They're another one of those bands, though. I think you could just pick up their greatest hits and be pretty happy.
Yeah, the only one I ever bought was Strength in Numbers. I think is the one that had.
I can see the cover of that album too.
And but yeah, 38 Special. If you buy their greatest hits, you're not going to be disappointed. They got a lot of good songs and a lot of songs that you probably go, "Oh, I didn't know that was them," you know, and you just like, "Holy shit, I didn't know they had this many hits." Kind of like this happened to me with Eddie Money.
Yeah.
God, I didn't know he had that many hits. Holy shit! And somebody played the greatest hits one night, and I'm like, "Fuck, I know all these songs."
That's Eddie Money.
That's Eddie Money. I didn't know that, you know. But it's so funny how that kind of happens. But let's hear your little tidbit.
Yeah. So are you done with that one?
Yeah.
So we'll move on to mine, and actually, this is the connection. This is my next song.
Oh, no shit.
My number 4. Is that right?
Number 3.
Oh, we're on my 3 already. Oh, we're just moving along an hour and a half into this thing. My song is off Sammy Hagar's album, Standing Hampton. This is one of my all-time favorite albums, period. And I had a hell of a time picking a song off of it. I wanted to make sure I had one off of this album. I've been waiting since we talked about 1980. I'm like, when did Standing Hampton come out? Because I got to have a song off there. And I could have picked just about any one of them. The one I chose is the lead song, and maybe it's the lead single. I should probably look. It's the first song on the album, and it's called I'll Fall in Love Again. The Jim Peterick connection is he wrote the song Heavy Metal that's on this album, which of course is also on the Heavy Metal soundtrack. But Heavy Metal by, Sammy Hagar, but it's written by Jim Peterick.
You know, I don't think I've ever listened to this album.
It's one of my...
I know some of the songs. You know, Sweet Hitchhiker, that's on...
Yeah, I just, top to bottom. Yeah.
Is that a cover song or...
No, that's the original Sammy, I'm pretty sure.
Sweet Hitchhiker, I think that's
Sammy Hagar wrote it. David Lauser, Hagar and Lauser, it says wrote it.
Then did CCR redo it?
I don't know.
He must have.
Is it the same song?
Well, Piece of My Heart, he didn't write that.
No, that's a Janis Joplin song.
Yeah.
And that's when I said no covers. This would be one of my honorable mentions because I love this version of Piece of My Heart.
I've never heard it. So I just put the album in my library because I was like, well, if this is one of your all-time favorite freaking albums by him, I got to hear it.
Baby's on Fire, Baby It's You. I almost picked Baby It's You is what I kind of wanted to pick. So check that one out if you haven't. But I'll Fall in Love Again, I think what made me pick this one is it was the biggest hit, like as far as the charting. It was really number 2 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock, but on the pop singles it was number 43. So if you were listening,
number 2 is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, well, that's the mainstream rock chart. If you were listening to Casey Kasem or whatever, this wouldn't make that countdown. This would the pop singles chart was 43. So the top 40 didn't quite crack.
Yeah, that's
but
all right.
I'll Fall in Love Again. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
love this whole album, and that song kicks it off. It's actually on the Vision Quest soundtrack too. And when we did our soundtrack episode,
Yeah.
I didn't pick this album or the Vision Quest soundtrack, and I actually even made maybe a joke about it. I wanted to, and then Guru picked it. I'm like, awesome. I'm glad he picked it. And then I went and watched that movie again, which I don't think I shouldn't say again, because I don't think I'd ever watched it before. But anyway, that's my pick for, what was that, 3?
Yeah.
We're on to your 3?
We're on to my 3.
You were just looking for a Sammy Hagar
Yeah.
hits compilation.
I clicked on this as Sammy Hagar when the party started, and I was like, I don't know any of those songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll find one. That's not a problem. Okay, my number 3. We had a song off this earlier, and I told you how good this fucking album is. It is so good. And I went to the fair and I was listening to the song. Okay, yes, it is John Cougar again, and it is American Fool again, but it's not Jack and Diane.
Right, and it's not Hurt So Good either.
No, it's not one of their big popular ones that were off this album. The song I picked is called China Girl. Not to be confused with David Bowie's China Girl. This
Yeah.
is way better.
I love this song too.
So I'll just read you a little bit. 5th studio album. Did you read that?
No,
By
I don't
John
think
Cougar?
so. I don't think I
Released
did.
April 27, 1982. The album was his commercial breakthrough, holding at number 1 position on the Billboard Top 200 album chart for 9 consecutive weeks. A remastered version of American Fool was released on Mercury Island on March 29th, 2005. It includes one bonus track, the previously unreleased title track. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's give it a listen, because I fucking love this song.
Yeah, it's good.
China girl, I met you on the seasand. You touch me with your cool hand. Your perfume's in the wind. China girl, your daddy tells you white lies to keep you from my blue eyes. To know it is no sin. I won't break you, Johnny girl, if you take me into your world. It's been my good fortune to find you, Johnny girl. Hey. Stolen flowers are sweetest in the morning. The eastern sun is dawning. The silks against my skin. China girl, take me to your jasmine place. Cool me with your subtle grace. To know me is no sin.
Sing it.
And I won't break you, China girl, if you take me into your world. It's been my good fortune to find you, China girl.
Easy to can't stop.
Just like that little breakdown.
Yeah.
Kind of that, it's a really simple lead, but it's just effective.
And this lyric, it's coming up again, but and I won't break you, China girl.
I won't break you, China girl,
It's very breakable.
take me into your world.
I was thinking about that too, like China, like
Yeah.
your mom's special plates
Fragile.
for, yeah,
Special occasions.
fragile. And also I think of China girl, or don't want to sound racist or anything, but
Yeah.
I think of Asian women as petite and smaller.
Oh, they
and,
are. Yep.
and fragile.
Yeah.
So
Extremely. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. I wonder if that, if I looked it up in Song Facts, if that would be in there. I don't think it was
Yeah.
because I'd be curious to know what the meaning behind the song is.
yeah, it's been my good fortune to find you.
Yeah. So,
And actually, maybe that song's canceled now because China Girl.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I don't know. David Bowie's got a song by the same name, but
Yeah. And actually, it's funny that you say that because you're right. He does. And at work, I shouldn't even admit this at work, but sometimes I'm just playing around on my computer.
Yep.
And I always go to msn.com. I don't know why. Probably because it's a Microsoft computer or whatever.
Yep.
PC. But on MSN, there was an article about the 10 most racist songs of all time. And China Girl from David Bowie was on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bet you Ebony Ivory wasn't.
No, there's some dumb ones that, things are a little too PC.
Oh, big time.
A little too.
Freaking hate it.
Like, there wouldn't be racism if people didn't talk about it.
Right.
If just saying the word racism or, yeah, man, we could get deep into this. So
Yeah, let's not.
I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, leave it for another
Yeah.
2 hours.
That's a whole different podcast, not
Yeah.
Rock Resurgence Radio. It doesn't
Correct.
belong here.
All right. Then we are moving on to your number 2.
My number 2, and this was super hard. Almost wanted to put this one at number 1, but in the end, I chose my number 1 just based on I just like my number 1 just a touch bit more. But anyway, my number 2 is by these guys right here,
Ah, yes.
Iron Maiden. And I had, so the album is The Number of the Beast, and I almost flipped a coin. Am I going to pick Run to the Hills or am I going to pick The Number of the Beast? And what did it for me, what made me decide between the two, was I just went and I asked AI which song had more plays on Spotify. So basically, which one was more popular.
It's funny that you went with Spotify rather than Apple Music.
Well, because I did ask AI Apple Music too, but Apple Music doesn't keep those stats like Spotify. But you're right.
Oh, really?
I am an Apple Music
yeah.
guy.
Well, then it makes sense that
But
they didn't have
yeah,
it. Yeah.
and I do know that Spotify keeps those statistics because of my buddy Dennis, who's in this band Ghost Bath. I maybe mentioned him before, and he's hopefully one of our subscribers. This probably isn't his favorite kind of music.
Yeah.
This is more death metal, but I see in his posts he's got a record label, and I think he does pretty well. But he always posts his statistics on there. Or I shouldn't say always, but once in a while, like how many songs of his were downloaded. And
Well, every at the end of every year, Apple comes out and tells you how many times, what's your favorite band or that you most streamed and all that shit. So
and
they should
because
have
my
that
kid
info.
uses my Apple Music to listen to music when he goes to bed, I don't have anything good on my year-end review whatsoever.
I bet.
Because all night long it was the same song over and over, and then it'll be the next night a whole different song, but it's the same. I mean, and it's crap. Sorry, son.
Yeah. Well, you got time to.
Yeah, I can
mold
teach
that.
him. He can watch these when I'm dead. Hopefully, he'll like some of these tunes. But anyway, back to my number 2. God, we're already at number 2. I picked Run to the Hills. I picked it. It's the first song on Number of the Beast, and it wasn't. We talked a little bit before we started shooting this episode. I wasn't a huge Iron Maiden fan by any means, and I didn't get into them until at least college, and that would have been 1990 or late '89. I guess I went to college.
Probably Somewhere in Time album.
Well, here's what it was.
Seventh Sign of the Seventh.
Probably was
That's the
in
one
that.
that had. That had a really catchy song on it that I got into anyway.
But yeah, if you pick up like Somewhere in Time, I think it's called, is like a greatest hits up to that certain point. Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of good tunes.
They do. I just never got into them.
I think
don't
they
know
would
why.
kick ass
I
live,
love
too.
their artwork and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Eddie is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I just never really got into them.
Yeah, it's almost like they're for guys that are smarter than me. I feel like
I know
they're kind of
right?
intellectual.
Kind of like Queensryche.
Yeah.
And I like some Queensryche, but other people are just like, I was just reading a thing on it. Like a matter of fact, I commented on it. The guy had said that the Empire record is so good and not a bad song on it, and it is the best thing that they've ever done, and blah blah blah. And he just got hammered like dog shit
Wow.
because everybody says Operation Mindcrime is by far the best. And I made the comment that I had bought an early album of Queensryche called The Warning. I was not smart enough at the time to understand how talented they were, so I didn't like it.
Yeah, fair.
I said, and then I got reintroduced to Queensryche on the Empire album and loved it, and I saw that tour. Therefore, Empire's my favorite Queensryche album. But I had to. But everybody, if you've been a Queensryche fan, almost everybody will say Operation Mindcrime is their best one. It's a story from beginning to end.
It's a conceptual album or whatever.
And they played the whole album on front to back on the Empire tour, and then they played a lot of Empire too. But so, anyways, it's kind of off topic, but yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in college, and not my roommate, but a guy down the street, or not down the street, but down the hall. I cannot for the life of me remember his name now, but we hung out a lot, and he was super into Iron Maiden. Like, he had the poster on his wall there, and and it's 89, whatever.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I don't know if I don't like Iron Maiden. Or, yeah, man, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this song. You got to listen to this album. And eventually I did. I got into them. I would love, this is one of the bands that I think I would love to see live that I'm not like an enormous fan of. Like,
right. I've heard nothing but good stuff about their live stuff.
I wouldn't put them in my top, like probably even 25 or 50 bands, because I love so much hair metal.
Yeah.
I know they wouldn't, hell, they might not even make the top 50. But anyway, I would love to see them live.
I would too.
And they have some good songs.
They do.
And we're going to listen to one of them right now from 1982, Run to the Hills.
And I would have picked Number of the Beast. Yeah. That's a good song too, though. I like the video with the Indians.
White man came across the sea. He brought us pain and misery. He killed our tribes. He killed our creed. He took our game for his own need. We fought him hard. We fought him well. Out on the plains, we gave him hell. But when it came to much decree, oh, will we ever be set free?
Kind of kicks it.
Riding through those clouds and barren wastes, galloping hard on the plains, chasing the redskins back to their holes, fighting them out their own game. Murder for freedom, the stab in the back, women and children, the cowards attack. Run to the hills, run for your lives. Run to the hills, run for your lives. Soldier blue in the barren.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get a greatest hits of Iron Maiden, because I think I'd like their shit more now than I did back then. Because I wasn't a fan of those big high soaring vocals.
Yeah.
Like that's how Queensryche is.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grated on my nerves.
Oh, I totally understand where you're coming from.
So I think I would like this a lot more now that I'm older. I understand it a little better. I'm wiser.
Yeah, and it's so funny to say, but I think this is more intellectual metal than the stuff that I really normally like.
Have you ever? Go ahead, keep going.
But when I was going to say, in 1982, you look at Bruce Dickinson, and in 1982, I was 11 years old. Bruce Dickinson looks like the kids that were seniors in high school from 1982. He doesn't look like he'd be a genius, but I think he really is. I mean, he's a pilot.
Yeah, he's.
I think he's a very smart man.
Oh yeah, he's a businessman too.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was singing that song that reminded me of a Manowar song, which actually Manowar would remind me of these guys probably. But Manowar's been around a long, long time, and I don't know if you've ever listened to him or them, but that guy's got a freaking voice from hell.
Not really, but actually when I was researching, looking for some songs from 1982, actually a Manowar song popped up.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one, but
I don't remember either which album, because I got to him later on. Fighting the World it had Blow Your Speakers with Rock and Roll and Carry On, and then I got into the Kings of Metal, and they're an American band.
Yeah.
But all their stuff is about medieval times, like, back with swords and all that stuff.
I feel like there's a lot of that for Iron Maiden.
Yeah, and so I should like this because I liked that, but for some reason, the people I hung with didn't listen to Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I remember this kid Billy Madden had an Iron Maiden shirt, and I thought it was so fucking cool. Not that one,
not this one,
but
probably that
and
one from the album, whatever. But
No,
yeah, they had cool
it's-
shirts and cool posters and
yeah, awesome stuff.
cool album covers.
But I just if you like Iron Maiden, you'd probably like Manowar. They're a pretty cool band. They have a lot of cool. He's got a lot of high vocals and really good guitar players, and they're voted, I think, one of the loudest bands in the world. I read an article one time that said, when you guys bring this, we bring every piece of gear we have.
Yeah.
when they play. So anyways, good pick. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get into a little more Iron Maiden. Did you have any more?
I don't really. It's funny. I didn't even pull up the
Wiki?
notes or the wiki or any of that stuff on that I had on it. But Run to the Hills. It was between this and the other one, the Number of the Beast. I don't know. It's hard to pick on any given day. I might like the other one a little better, but both good songs.
Well, I like the Native American thing they're talking about.
Yeah.
When the settlers came over and they basically annihilated the Indians. They took their tribes. They took their game. It says, so it's about that. So I should, being Native, I should like that song better. But I don't know. I just like the beat of the other song better. But I do like that song. Got my Native tattoo. That's what I was pointing at, in case you guys were wondering. Anyways.
I do like the beat of the other song a little better too, but I like the vocals in this song better.
Yeah. I like the meaning of this song way better than Number of the Beast.
Number 27 on list of 40 greatest metal songs.
No shit. Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me one bit.
VH1. And then 14 on their list of greatest hard rock songs, and Rolling Stone ranking at number 10 on their list of 100 greatest heavy metal songs.
Yeah, it belongs in the heavy metal category.
Yeah, definitely heavy metal. Anyway,
good
your
stuff.
number 2, Chad.
My number 2 is a little known band called Kiss. You wanted the best, you got the best.
The hottest band in the
Hottest
land.
band in the land. Yep, that's what they always said before their concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the song I picked, and the reason I picked this song, well, I love this freaking song because it's heavy and it's mean. But I thought you were going to take one off this, and I thought you would take I Love It Loud.
I would have too.
Yep.
But I thought of this one actually.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah, I totally went, he's going to pick I Love It Loud, so I'm picking War Machine. So I tend to like on the Kiss, well, I can't say that either. I think I like a lot of the Gene Simmons songs because they're a little heavier, a little darker.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of Paul Stanley stuff too. Heavens on Fire is one of my all-time favorite songs by Kiss, and that's sang by
Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley. God, I couldn't fucking.
I'm more
think
of a Paul Stanley guy for sure.
Yeah, and he sings "Tears Are Falling." He sings a little bit of the little bit lighter stuff, and Gene sings the darker, heavier stuff because he's the demon.
Yeah, right.
So I tend to like that. Anyways, I'm going to read this a little bit. Gene Simmons of Kiss explained, War Machine started off strangely enough on a cheap miniature synthesizer. I had been recording demos at home on a small 4-track recording facility and wanted to do some different kinds of things. I had bought the synthesizer just to add a layer of sound in the back of something, in back of a guitar. But while fiddling with it, I fell on the War Machine riff. The original War Machine was a song almost purely based around the riff. The riff never stopped and the vocals continued over the guitar figure. Yep. So, and this came off of their 1982 album Creatures of the Night, which is a really good album actually. You'll be interested to know that they had Michael James Jackson suggested bringing on a co-writer who would help with the lyrics. He suggested a brand new writer who was up and coming recording artist himself named Bryan Adams, and his co-writing partner Jim Vallance.
Yeah.
So Vallance, Adam, and I co-wrote War Machine and Rock and Roll Hell, both which appeared on Creatures of the Night. Adams and Vallance added some choral passages and the basic lyrical content, including the title War Machine.
Yeah, I think I'd heard that before somewhere.
So that's pretty cool. Bryan Adams partially writing a song that's this fucking heavy and cool and shit. Let's listen to it. I'm excited now.
Okay.
It just sounds so evil.
Wanna bite the hand that feeds me? Wanna turn the tides? Set the demons free and watch them fly. Strike down the one who leads me. I'm gonna take his place. Gonna vindicate the human race. Better watch out, 'cause I'm a war machine. Better watch out, 'cause I'm a war machine. Yeah. Take the reins of power and seize them. From the battle lines. I'm against, it's just a matter of time. Tear down the voice of reason.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's, and it's fun because I haven't listened to these songs in so long. It just makes me,
You're right. I did look through this album and I thought, I love it loud. And I'm like, I'm going to just kind of put that one aside and maybe it's one of my honorable mentions. But then I saw this song too and I'm like, maybe I should pick that. And then
That's
the only
funny.
other one I think that I would have probably picked was the title track, Creatures of the Night. I like that song for whatever reason.
yeah,
But I didn't. I just decided not to pick one from this.
that's fine.
But I'm glad you did.
Left it all for me. Yeah, Gene Simmons is a badass kind of. I still remember a quote he said it was on like fucking Aldo or something, and he goes, "Aren't you worried about all the women you slept with?" He goes, "When it rains, you wear a raincoat, right?"
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Gene.
So, well, we're on to number one.
Yeah, we made it. If
We
you
made
stuck
it.
with us for the last 2 hours, we are finally here
Yeah,
to number one.
number one.
All right, my number one, like I said, I just like this song just a little bit better, and I'm a huge Prince fan, believe it or not. But the song I picked from 1982 was on the album 1999, and I decided to go with the title track, 1999.
Very good song.
And we're going to listen to it. And so if you've heard this song on the radio, if you don't have the album, the whole intro of the song might sound different because they don't usually play the intro on the radio. It just kicks into the song, but there's a little intro with the computerized voice. You'll hear it in a second because I'm going to play that version. But just real quick, I'll try to keep it brief since we're probably pushing 2 hours on this episode, but man, it was fun.
I know. I love this episode already.
Yeah. Inspiration for the song came from a TV documentary Prince watched about Nostradamus. In the film, he predicted that a terror would fall upon the earth, or the world, whatever, in 1999. The next day at rehearsals, Prince discussed the documentary with his bandmates, where they imagined a huge party would be thrown knowing that this terror was about to happen. As Lisa Coleman said, Prince came to the studio the next day, passing out song lyrics to the band, the song already fully written. So
that's cool.
Yeah. And it's so funny when I remember this song, and this is one that I probably bought Purple Rain first, but immediately I bought 1999 after. So I got into Prince in 84, and he had Purple Rain, 1999, Controversy was before that, Dirty Mind, and then there was Prince For You. I know Prince's catalog pretty deep.
Yeah, obviously. I like Prince.
I love
but
this.
I never really bought his albums other than Purple Rain, and I think 1999 is the only other one I bought.
This whole album's great.
And Greatest Hits. That big Greatest Hits with his nice little beard.
Like 17 songs on it or something.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, let's listen to 1999. Like I said, the computerized voice at the beginning.
Cool.
Usually you don't hear it, but here we go.
Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I only want you to have some fun.
So I was talking about this. So I got this across the road. I remember thinking about the song from 1999. How far away it was. 25 years in the past now. I know I have. Look at this. It's a roll right in right there. And then it's funny.
I was at a dance at the Memorial Hall in Rolla. New Year's Eve, and we thought we were.
I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray.
Yep, this song was the last song we played.
But when I woke up this morning, could have sworn it was Judgment Day. Sky was so purple, there were people running everywhere, trying to run from the destruction. You know I didn't even care. Say 2000 party over, oops, out of time. So tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999. I was dreaming when I wrote this, so sue me if I go too fast. Life is just a party and parties weren't meant to last.
Life is just a party, and parties weren't meant to last.
It's
I'm
such
gonna
a
just- yeah.
such a good song.
I'm going to leave it right there, and that wraps up 1982 for me.
Okay, well, I got a big one coming up, and it's in the similar vein as Prince. You all might know this guy. His name is Michael Jackson,
That's crazy shit.
and the song is called Billie Jean
You know,
off the Thriller album. So the Thriller album came out in 82, and late 82.
Yeah.
So this single wasn't released till 83. So if there's anybody out there going to give me shit,
but I think it literally came out like January 3rd of 1983 or something like that. Maybe
the
not.
single or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so our self-imposed rule was if the album came out in that year or if the single came out in that year. So we won't overlap and put the same song on two different countdowns.
Right.
But
right.
you almost had to have a fucking song off of the
Yeah.
most biggest selling album of all time. And maybe it's not anymore.
And if you were alive back then and you were preteen or in that age group where we are, everybody had this album.
Fuck, yeah.
I didn't know a single one of my friends that probably didn't have that album. Well, you know, I mean, the obvious ones, the people who didn't listen to country or whatever, they didn't buy this stuff. But the people who listen to rock and pop and all that stuff, we all had it.
Yeah.
So That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm just going to say this is probably my favorite. Yeah, he's right up there. Yeah, I think Billie Jean's probably my favorite. And, you know, I mean, there's Beat It, there's Thriller, there's all kinds of good stuff off that.
Slash? No, I'm thinking of Eddie Van Halen played guitar and
Beat It.
Yeah, Slash played in one of his later songs, like from later 80s or maybe even early 90s, like the Bad album or something.
Yeah.
Might have been Bad or...
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Black or White.
But
Black
Eddie Van Halen plays on Beat It, right? Or maybe it's Billie Jean.
He plays the lead on Beat It.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. But Slash, I think, was Black or White.
Yeah. So
even
later than Bad, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I'll look at it while we're playing it.
Okay.
All right. Hear it?
Yeah, let's go. I don't know what it is about Michael Jackson, but when it comes on, I feel like I should dance, and I suck at dancing.
Yes.
But I feel like I could dance.
You're not going to moonwalk on this episode?
I used to be able to do that pretty good, but this is such a good song.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who will dance on the floor and around. She said, I am the one who will dance on the floor and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes to dream of being the one who would dance on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do. Cause the lie becomes the truth. The Billie Jean's not my love. She's just a girl who thinks that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. For 40 days and 40 nights, I was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. Go and dance on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice.
Billie Jean. So I did just quick search. Sounds like so Slash did play on a song on the Dangerous album. Everybody thinks he played on Black or White, but he debunked that, like, because he's in the video for that song.
Oh,
They
okay.
used some footage of him playing, but the song was give it to me or give in to me or something. But anyway, I found this. I just gotta bring this up because I've been saying all along, like, AI is fucking stupid. I just want to read what AI said. So I asked AI, what Michael Jackson song or songs did Slash play guitar? Give In to Me is the song. Later on down, there's a song that says Locomotive. This song appears on Jackson's 1991 album, Use Your Illusion 2. Yeah. Slash plays 4 guitar solos on the song. That is not on Jackson's 1991 album, Use Your Illusion 2.
No,
But anyway, that's so AI gets shit confused a lot.
it does. Yep.
It's definitely in its early stages.
Yep.
But anyway, you got to have a song from Thriller on 1982, or we could have saved it for 83, but we'll get it in here.
Yeah.
That album came out.
I mean, that
82.
album was so huge, and that, like I said, everybody at the time had that album. Yeah, I mean, it was just huge. And I don't know, is that the number one selling album of all
I
time?
think it still is. I think it's got to be.
It's got to be.
I'd ask AI, but they'd fuck it up.
That is probably true.
Well, AI does say Michael Jackson's Thriller is the best-selling album of all time, selling an estimated 70 million copies. The
Worldwide.
82 album includes hit singles Beat It, Billie Jean, and Thriller. Billie Jean we just played.
Yep.
And that's really a good way to wrap up 82.
Yeah, I mean, with one of the
Best-selling
best-selling
albums of
album
all time.
all time, you can't go wrong with that. Can't complain. Can't
Yeah, you can
disagree.
say what you want about the guy, but he sold a bunch of albums in 1982, 83.
Yep. So that wraps up our 1982 album, and I'm sure you're going, fucking about time.
1982.
We are too. We're tired and want to go to bed. So we're just going to leave it at that. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your frickin' whoever. Just get them on board with Rock Resurgence Radio. We need some help, fellas and gals.
Yeah, what he said. Thanks for watching.
See ya. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed our content. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. We'd greatly appreciate it. Links to everything we discussed will be included in episode notes. Feel free to check those out as well. Until next time, stay golden, Pony Boy, and rock on.